Ladies and gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
I want to thank the people from the Reparations Commission for inviting us, the East Indian Council of Belize and Coach from Corazon, to this very awesome convention here today. We were given 1 hour to come up with the injustices and resolutions of the sins committed by the colonial masters against the East Indian people, crimes against humanity. In our view, 1 hour was definitely too short. I think we would have needed to go on a retreat to come up with the injustices committed against us. So I have asked Ms. Silva from Corazon to give me a hand in doing this presentation. Some of the injustices that were committed against the East Indian people. The first thing that actually was an injustice was the whole indentured system. The system was a crime. Indians were brought to the Indies to work in their slavery conditions sometimes it gets really emotional. And but some of the things that were done to us, you know, it really hurts when you do the historical research. We were lied to. There were recruiters in India that were going around to fill their quotas. They had quotas of coolies, as they call them, that were lied to and forced into signing these contracts. And well, there were some in our group, a discussion who felt maybe East Indians were deserving of reparations because we came of our free will. But there was rigorous argument on that. But a lot of them came of their free will, a lot of them were kidnapped and lied to in the remote villages of India. We lost our language, we lost our names, we ended up with English names. My name is Piet. It was probably Patel. We don't know. The labor conditions in the fields were horrible. We call it exploitation. The long hours of work, from dawn till setting sun, with very little pay, if any, because the master normally took you out your pay anyway. Freedom was taken away, men from their families. And I mentioned kidnappings and forced labor. But the most horrible part of it was the Atlantic crossing. When Britain brought slaves from Africa, they had their own middle passage. Indians call it the Dark Waters, the Kalapani. And they had some horrible crossings as well. There was dysentery, there was mouth disease, you name it, and it was on those ships. These were landlocked people in the provinces of Bihar, in Uttar Pradesh. They didn't know about the sea. They had to come around the Indian Ocean, around the Cape of Africa, over the Atlantic. There was no Suez Canal in those times. The voyage took 3-4 months. And horrors were on those ships. Some people committed suicide. They just jumped off of the ships and killed themselves. And the white man left them to dive or to the monsters of the deep. One of the other things was stigma and discrimination. And one of our members also mentioned prejudice against our own cultural foods. And they made it so difficult that we were ashamed to eat even our own foods. When we eat kalalo and takari, well, they never look good. They want us to eat the fried chicken and what the Europeans had it. Those were some of the things that we came up with in the hour that we, or I guess it was less than an hour that we discussed. I will now ask Ms. Sylvain to give us some of the resolutions or what we expect in compensation for those crimes against humanity.
Thank you, Mr. Payne. I personally would have liked to be named Ajaya, or maybe Preeti, or maybe Kashin, or maybe Teja, but they stole my names from me and they named me Sylvia. And in one way I was forced to marry, and my name was Perez. I was unable to marry one of my kind, and for me, that was taken from me also because of the situation we lived in. Everybody in my village were my family. So, you know, these are, no, I didn't ever. Okay, so the first thing we came up with, and we felt some injustice was done to us this afternoon in that Mr. Pitt previously mentioned that 1 hour was insufficient for us to really come up with something that is factual. What we were talking about is just what we have heard. Sufficient documentation on East Indians in Belize is not, you know, it's not there. And so we say, okay, then let's do it for doing sake, and this is not like a gospel, that they will hold us to it. It came from the East Indian group. This is what they are asking. We would have liked to have some more time to give, although they may take us that we don't know anything, but we know what is good and what is bad, and that is what we would have liked to have had a longer time to discuss and come up with academic papers, because first thing in Belize, our resources are extremely limited when it comes to East Indian. I personally do not even know what part of India I came from to that extent. I've been to the archives and the library, and there is limited resource. And that is why we need to have things like this. And for me, the first thing we have is retrieval program and education. I was hoping that, you know, it's being hosted on UB grounds, and I would have liked to see all the historians or all the history students be here to document and listen and hear firsthand what everybody would have to say, and go back with real messages from the people of Belize, the Belizeans. I am not seeing that. We are just talking to our own self. How many?
Yeah, others here from 6 farmers.
Oh, congratulations. Congratulations. Okay.
Ecumenical students are here too.
Thanks. Thank you. Okay, retrieval programs. First of all, I should have been speaking in Hindi. I cannot. I can say namaste and a few other words that we were using at home, and we didn't even know it was Hindi. But we still use it up to today. We say choka, we say takari, we say baigan, we say pirha, we say different things.
You guys have Star Plus in PG?
Star what?
Star Plus. It's a channel.
I am from Curacao, so I
Oh,
really know.
Well, look up the channel Star Plus. The name of the channel is Star Plus. You will learn. I've been learning a lot from your culture, from Chula channel. About your culture, Chula channel. Right there. So I think it'll be good.
Okay.
Star Plus.
Thank you. Thank you. See, I have down here as my last one, I'll mention that when I come to that one. Retrieval program education. And first of all, it would be a historical retrieval because we lack a lot in that. We have to know our history before we know what we want. So that is one that we have, historical retrieval. That's under education or language, and also exchange programs. You remember one time they started something in Belize, back to Africa. We would like to say back to India, or retracing the footsteps of our ancestors from Jamaica then to whatever part of India or motherland. We would also like to see some technical assistance in getting what I asked them if I could say this word, and what did you all say? That don't say it, or should I say it? Okay, I said technical assistance they had from the British. And I said, no, let's put technical assistance from the rapist. These assistants are for this retrieval program. We'd like to work on position paper of here in Belize by the Belizeans, written by Belizean, retrieved by Belizean, and the truth of exactly what is here, because many of the books tell their own story to their own convenience. And we would like to have it first-hand knowledge from our elders and from people who know that, people who just come in to write and fix it up as their own and go away with all kind of story about the Indians in Belize. We would also like to have, because we have still, that's the good thing, we still have resource personnel in the villages that we could retrieve, but limited resources to get these done. And it would be no use for us to retrieve all of these information. What we'll do with it? We'd like some kind of database or something to be created so that the world can know about the East Indians in Belize. Thank you.